conditioner is really loud. I think it's broken. Well, guys, do I have a story for you? So this is a story about how a friend of mine tried to sell me on that. Get comfy. Also, stay tuned for the end because I'm about to try the weirdest food that I've ever found on a shelf. Like, just, it'll lighten the mood after what I'm about to tell you. Let's just put it that way. So, this was a few years ago. I'm not going to be too specific with dates. I'm obviously going to change names. I'm obviously going to try to, though I must say the girl that I'm talking about in this story, she no longer is in the adult industry. As far as I know, I haven't seen her around, so, yeah. Anyway. Whew. This story makes me sound like a dumb. I would like to start by saying I have nothing against anyone's hustle. You do you, boo. That has nothing to do with me. I support you. I support your life. I don't know what to say. So, it was a few years ago, and I was friends, because she was a really bad friend. That's another story. With this girl, and let's call her Ariel. And I met Ariel in LA, and we knew each other for a few years. And I was kind of just like bored with Cam, kind of having one of those moments where I'm like, what else can I do? You know what I mean? So I hit her up, and I was like, hey, what are you doing with your life? And she mentioned the fact that she worked at the strip club right now, along with Cammy. And I was like, oh, cool. And she was telling me how like nice it was, and it happened to be like really close to my house. So I was like, I'm down. Like, are they looking for people like door girls, shooter girls, managers? She's like, yo, just come down with me and we'll talk to the boss together. And I was like, so cool. So long story short, I get this job at the club, right? And I ended up being like hostess. Like, I was getting people's drinks and stuff, and like occasionally like talking to guys, but I wasn't doing like lap dances. I only went on the stage one night, the night that I got the job, like the night that I tried out. It was annoying. I guess he wanted to see like where he wanted to put me, even though I didn't want to be a stripper. But I did dance. I have danced before. I'm not putting that to shame either. One of my first jobs in the adult industry, or my first job in the adult industry, was at a strip club, and I loved it, and I did dance a little bit, and I had a great time. I just didn't particularly want to dance here. And from that experience, I just learned that I'm just not a stripper. Like, I don't have that tiger, like, I'm the girl that like stands on the wall, and I'm scared and have anxiety, and like I don't like people. So I'm at this club, we're having a good time. She's like over by like the customers, like doing her thing, like trying to get a dance, and she calls me over, and she's like, oh, can you get us drinks? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I go and I get their drinks. On the way back over, I end up meeting this girl, and the girl actually knew Ariel, and that made me feel good already, because like obviously she knew someone I knew, so I was comfortable, like, you know what I mean? I knew her, so I was like, okay, cool. I already felt like we were kind of like friends, you know? And she goes and sits by Ariel, and we're gonna name her Kimberly because she's the main character of this story. So Kimberly and Ariel are like chilling with these guys. I'm kind of like standing, like leaning on a chair by them. We're all talking, having a good time. And there happened to be this other girl. Now, the reason why I'm telling this part of the story about this other girl is because I think this is where Kimberly got this idea from, but I'm really not sure. So I'm only gonna like tell you a little piece of it, but pretty much there was this girl. She was really hot. She worked at the club. She was like most popular girl, and her sugar daddy just bought her a new car. So that was like a big deal. Like Ariel and Kimberly were like totally drooling over her car and like asking her all these questions about like how she got this guy and stuff. So they were like very interested, and duh, like who wouldn't be, right? So this is all going on. I ended up really not liking the club. Like, it just wasn't my feel. Again, I was still getting the same kind of anxiety as a hostess, so like I wasn't that comfortable. And I decided that like I'm just gonna quit. It's fine. I'm gonna go back to camping. You know, I just feel like when you do this for a long time, you have to really like test yourself sometimes and make sure you still love it. You know what I mean? And I think since then I've learned my lesson. Like, I really, really love camping. I really, really love YouTube. That's where I'm going to stay at. I'm not going to ever try to work at a strip club again unless it's like for fun or like a joke. Or if I get really good at pole dancing. Because pole dancers are awesome. Like, I'd pole dance if I was good, but I don't know how. So, yeah. So, oh, hold on. My nose. So attractive and sexual. So now you know how I know the girl, you know, kind of like our interaction now. It ended up being that obviously like me and Ariel, like Ariel showed her colors way sooner than Kimberly. So me and Ariel had a falling out. Nothing big, nothing like a fight or nothing. I just like I stopped talking to her. And I just scratched myself. Oh, I kind of just stayed friends with Kimberly, and it was really cool. Like, she was really low-key. She lived by herself. She had a lot of nice stuff. She says she just moved here from somewhere weird, like Midwest, like Kansas or something. I don't know. And she was really close with her mom. She had a really cute animal, so I love animal lovers. And like, it was just a good fit. We were good friends for like, I want to say a good 2 months before this incident happened. But like, we hung out a lot. I even got her a cam. So like, we were really cool. And all of a sudden, she hits me up one day. And she's like, hey, so I need a girl to come with me on a double date with me and this sugar daddy I'm trying to land. So I was like, okay, like, let's do it. Like, I guess. Now, again, I don't like people that much. I was a little reluctant, but she's my friend, and I'm down. I'm a down-ass bitch. I'm a good-ass friend. I'm loyal. Like, you call me, need help, I got you. So she's all excited. She's like, okay, let's both wear maroon. So I'm like, sure, let's twin out, let's have a good time, we're gonna have a good night. I'm like getting ready and stuff, and she texts me and she's like, hey, can you send me pictures of you so I can show him, because he wants to know what you look like. So I literally thought nothing of it, like nothing at all. I was like, sure. And it's so weird because looking back, obviously, like, she should have just got, like if it was real, like, she could have just got pictures of me off of Instagram or something. So, I don't know, anyway. But I didn't think of it. I was like, sure. So I sent her a few pictures, which happened to be Instagram pictures anyway, because, I mean, that's what's on my phone, and yeah. I get ready. I go over to her house, and I get there, and there's this girl sitting on her couch, looking really, really busted. And now, look, I'm not throwing shade, but, like, and I've never seen Kimberly with someone that had this image before. So I was a little confused, but like, hey, I don't judge friends. Like, it was just alarming. I also didn't expect someone to be there. Like, I thought it was just her and I. So I was confused when she opened the door and I looked behind her and there's like this girl on the couch. Now, to add to her bustedness, she was mad. She's on her phone like this on the couch. And I go to her, and I'm like, hi, because I'm nice. And she's like, and looks back at her phone. Now, at this point, I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what the hell. But, like, this apartment's small, so I'm not about to be like, hey, Kimberly, why your friend being mean? So, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, sure. So, we leave, like, literally right after that. She's like, oh, Uber's here. So, we get to the Uber. We get to this mansion. Now, while we were in the Uber, she's going off about how rich this guy is and how nice he is and how, like, she actually thinks she likes him, and it's not just like a sugar daddy thing. No, he does help her pay bills, and like he paid her car payment, and like she's just talking about him, and I'm like, wow, okay, whatever. Like, she really likes this guy. Sure. So, she really doesn't tell me too much about my guy aside from the fact that he's rich and this is the house that we're going to, like, it's his house. So I'm like, okay. So we pull up, like I said, to this beautiful mansion. Now, it was like a ranch style mansion, so it was like a huge property, but like one floor house. And we get in this like big U-shaped driveway. And we go in, and it's a beautiful house, obviously, right? And it was so weird because his door was open. Like, they didn't even come to the door, which I thought was weird. And we walked in, we had to like follow their voice to the kitchen. And there's two men standing in the kitchen. One was like kind of short, balding, a little younger looking than the other one, brown hair, kind of chubby, Italian looking guy. And the other guy was tall, like ripped old man, like, you know, those old men that work out and run a lot, like Texas vibe, like, that's what he kind of reminded me of. All gray hair, and they're in the kitchen, and they have these big smiles on. They look really happy, and like she immediately runs up to the Italian guy and jumps on him and gives him a big hug, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're like, sure. Also, the guys have like a whole, like the whole counter in the big ass kitchen is filled with like food and steak. I guess they barbecued or something, and like alcohol, and it just looks like a really fun night is about to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked fun. Like, I was excited. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a good night. Like, I'm glad I said yes to this. Immediately, she introduces me to the other guy. So let's name these guys now. We're going to name them. We'll name the Italian guy Anthony, because every Italian's name is Anthony, duh. And we're going to name the old guy Paul. I don't know, Paul and Anthony, okay? So her guy's Anthony, my guy is Paul. So she introduced me to Paul. She's like, this is Noah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. So we get some drinks, we get some plates, and we go and sit by the pool. Like, not in bikinis or anything, just it was nighttime by now. So we're just like sitting on chairs, you know what I mean? He's like, oh, sit closer to me, let me get to know you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure. So I come and I sit like next to him, like, you know, and I'm just telling him about like my life a little bit and who I am and like my job. He's telling me about himself and how he just like remodeled the house, and we're having a pleasant conversation. I'm not even paying attention. At this point, Kimberly and what was his name? Oh, Anthony are like making out. She's like sitting on his lap. I'm like, okay, but whatever. Like, she says she liked him, so again, I'm just not. It's just weird. I just feel like it's weird, like when you're alone with someone you just met and the people that you do know are like making out. We're chilling. They're making out. We're eating. We finish our plate. We're standing in the kitchen. She goes, come get a drink with me. I was like, okay. We start making our drinks, and I'm just like expecting to go back outside and sit down. And she's like, hey, so I was talking to Anthony, and like he said he would pay us if we were to like dance for them. So I'm like so thrown off at this point, because I'm like, what? And immediately I'm like, I think she's like half joking, and I'm just like, no, like, and she's like, no, like, he'll pay us really good, like, he has a lot of money, he's drunk, he's in a good mood, like, just do it, it's fine, like, you danced before. So I'm like, oh my god, I don't know, I was like really torn, but again, like, I have danced before, and it was just kind of one of those like situations, you know? So I agree. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, society. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry if you thought better of me. I'm a dumb bitch, okay? So I agree. So we finish our drinks, and she's like, come with me to the bathroom. So I'm like, sure. So we go to the bathroom, and I thought she was just gonna like pee or something. We still haven't danced for the guys yet. And instead of peeing, she goes right to the counter, and she has this like little mini backpack, like kind of like this one, right? She has this little backpack, and she puts it on the counter, and she opens it. Now I'm thinking like, oh, she's gonna fix her makeup or something. And she reaches in the backpack, and she pulls out a bag like this, and she's like, opens it up, and she's like, here, put this on. And it's like this little black lingerie. And I'm like, now at this point I'm thinking like, yo, you planned this. Like, what? And now I just feel weird. Like, I don't know how to explain how I felt. Peer pressure, man, peer pressure. All I can say before I go further is take what I'm about to tell you as a learning lesson and do what I say, not as I do. I just felt a lot of pressure. I've matured. My eyes are open. My senses. I don't know why these are senses, but these are my senses, okay? And they're there. And I like now, I just feel like it's different now. I probably should have saw this coming, but let's just keep going. Don't remember how, again, I was drinking. She convinces me to wear this lingerie. So I put it on. We're just dancing, right? We're just dancing. I'm gonna get paid. I haven't even been told how much I'm gonna get paid. She was just like, he's rich. So I was like, whatever. So we're in this like master bathroom. Now, how do I explain this? So like you walk in this house, there's like a hallway, and there's like a little opening, and then there's the living room. And then there's another opening that's bigger, and that's the kitchen. Then there's the backyard. Now to the left of the kitchen, there's a little tiny hallway, like tiny, like a quarter the size of my room. And then if you turn right, there's a bedroom and like this big bathroom. And because it goes like an L, like there's 2 sliding doors leading to like the back where we were. So when we went to the bathroom, we were technically in his master bed bathroom. Like, you know what I mean? Because that was like the closest bathroom. The other one was like, if we went to the door and went all the way this way. So we're over here, so we just went to this bathroom. So we get changed, and at this point I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna go dance for them like outside or on their couch in the big living room or something. And she opens the door, and they're both on the bed, shirtless, like this. I'm sorry, I'm just like, this is just progressively making me feel more and more uncomfortable, but like, you know, I'm trying to be cool. Like, I'm trying to be down. Like, I'm trying to be a good friend. Like, oh my god, girl, gotta stop trying so hard. They turn on like this weird ass music, like something from like, I don't even know. It was like Bruce Springsteen or something, like something you don't dance to. Anthony works at the grocery store, saving his pennies for someday. No. But whatever. And I turn, she's already like twerking, like dancing. I'm just like, this is so awkward. So I start just like wiggling and dancing around. But at this point we're standing, like they're on the bed and we're like on the floor, like in front of the bed. How do I explain it? Like standing up, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, like I don't remember what distracted me, probably the song or something. And I turn and she's gone. And I turn around further, like I'm like, where'd you go? And she's like on the bed with Anthony. I keep forgetting the name I made up. She's just like pretty much like face. And I'm like dancing in his face. And I'm like, oh lordy lord. And now I turn the other way and I look at Paul, and Paul's like, mommy. Now I'm in like that mode where I'm like, how am I gonna get out of this but still look cool, you know? Sorry if the angle changed. My memory card filled up after I was done telling the story. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Where were we? I had to go back now. Oh, okay. So he's laying like this. Let's pretend this is his body. His feet are here. His head is here. And the bed's kind of like a boat-shaped bed. So at this point, like I'm holding onto the back of the bed, and like my butt's touching his knees. I think it would be the best way to explain it. I'm kind of twerking, I'm kind of just like in my head trying to figure out again how to get out of the situation. And I turn over around and look to my left. And let's just put it this way so we don't get demonetized. Though we're probably going to get demonetized anyway, but we're going to try. A part of his body was in her. Okay? And it's like hardcore. Like, he's like holding her head. So I'm just like, oh my god, I didn't sign up for this. And then, before I can even put my thoughts into thoughts, she was like, oh, we'll be right back. And they like leave the room. And now I'm alone with this guy. And I turn back to him now. And he looks at me and I think he just saw the fear on my face. Because I was like, what's about to happen? Like, you can imagine how I'm feeling at this point. And I think that's what makes this story the scariest and the worst, because you have to warn somebody before you put them, obviously, in a sexual situation. I was told I was going on a date. I shouldn't be scared to get RAPED when I'm on a double date. Like, that's not fair. I trust you as a friend. Let's just get back into it. He's like, you're not an escort, are you? I was like, no. He's like, come here. And at this point, I'm just feeling like, oh my god, I'm so scared. And I go and I sit next to him. He puts his arm around me. And honestly, I immediately felt calmer. Like, his vibe was calm. Thank goodness he wasn't a bad person. I'm not going to call him a good person, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Has nothing to do with him getting escorts. I don't really give a crap about guys paying for sex. But he tells me that Kimberly told him I was an escort. And he kind of says it just like that. Like, oh, she told me you were. And I was like, no, I just cam and I do girl. And he was like, oh, like, there must have just been like a mix up. It's okay. I'll still pay you. It's fine. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like talking to me for a bit. I'm just feeling really awkward. I already like moved out from under his arm. Like, 'cause he's like rubbing my arm and I just felt weird. So like, he's laying down. I'm like now like on my knees like this, like sitting towards him. And we're talking for a little bit. And I'm like, I'm going to go find Kimberly. And I jump out of the bed. And I go down the hallway. And I'm trying to find her. And I just hear like, and I'm like, oh my god. And like, I go down the hallway to like peek. I don't know what I was expecting to see. Like, I know what I was gonna see, right? The door is cracked a little bit open. And he has her bent over, using her hair as reins. I ran away like a little kid that just saw like their parents having sex. I literally ran. But I literally ran down the hallway. I was like, I go back, I run into Paul. I told Paul, I was like, oh, they're like doing it. He's like, oh, they'll be done soon. I was like, and we talked for like maybe like 3 and 5 more minutes, like in between there. And he's like, hey, you want to get another drink? I was like, yeah, sure. So we both get up and we go into the kitchen. And I grab my clothes. I put on my clothes. And I get out to the kitchen. And he, like, has a drink, like a glass of wine for me. And we're just standing there in the kitchen. And kind of, like, again, like, 3 minutes later, Kimberly and Anthony come out. And she's, this girl, she goes, her makeup is all messed up. And she's all, like, discombobulated. She's like, oh, you guys aren't chilling in the room? And at this point, I'm not even talking to her anymore. Like, I'm done talking to her. I should have known something was up by how immediately cold Anthony was. Because, again, like, let me mention, even though he just told me that Kimberly told him that I escorted, I just assumed that, like, she thought I did or something. Like, I just assumed it was, like, a passing conversation. I still was so naive. I had no idea that they like found us on a website. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had no idea she did any of this yet. Like, I just thought, I don't know, she was like, oh, my friend does porn and she escorts. Because, I mean, that's not uncommon, you know? Again, not bashing anyone's hustle or anything like that. Like, it's an assumption, you know. I don't have a problem with it. So I was just kind of like, I'm glad it clarified it, but at the same time, and obviously, like, I was thinking, like, okay, I was mad at her for leaving me and putting me in this situation without warning me, like, or like thinking that this was normal and okay to do something like this to a friend that was doing you a favor. And I was going to tell her, like, why did you tell him I was an escort? But, like, I was so mad. So, yeah, he was really cold, and they hand us the money, and they're like, oh, the Uber's here. We say bye. We get into the Uber, and I'm just really cold again. Like, we're just not talking. I haven't talked to her since she came out of the room. So, all of a sudden, she, like, breaks the silence, because we're, like, kind of far from the house. And she's like, did you do anything with him? And I'm like, no. Like, I don't do that. And she's like, oh, I don't know. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, girl, I don't do that. Like, I don't do that. And she's like, oh, whatever. And she gets quiet now, too. And I get dropped off at home, and I'm just, like, done with her. So she texts me, like, an hour after I get home, and she's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you in that position. Like, I hope you forgive me. Hearts, emojis, cuteness. And I'm just, like, not answering her. So I'm on cam, a few days go by and stuff, and I start getting direct messages on Instagram and on cam, right? And these direct messages are screenshots from Backpage of my Instagram pictures with my face blurred out. The pictures that I sent her. Okay? At first I was like, oh, someone stole pictures from my Instagram and made a fake page. And then I realized that no, those were all literally the set of pictures I sent her. Because I sent her like 3. You know what I mean? Those were all 3 of them that I sent her. But she like blurred out my face, but it was still my pictures. And she had my name on there. Like, she had Noah on there. So people were messaging me and they're like, you're on Backpage? You escort? And I'm like, no. What? No. What? And I just keep getting these messages. Like, at first I thought the one was fake, and then I thought someone made a fake one, and then I checked, and now I'm just, like, really confused. And I'm like, oh my god, this girl literally put me on Backpage without asking. So I go on the ad, and, like, now I'm 99% sure, hold on, pause. Like, you have to pay to put ads on that site. She put an ad on there and paid money to steal my stuff. I don't know what she was thinking. I got myself reheated. My heart's literally racing. She makes an ad just for me and an ad for us together as like a package thing. And the picture that we took in our little matching outfits that night, that's the one she used for the package deal. And it's 100% her. Like, she's the one that posted this. And I'm like, wow. Like, I don't even know how to feel, what to say right now. So I cooled down because I was about to, like, break my phone. And I finally calmed down. I pick up the phone, and I call her. And I'm like, Kimberly. And she's like, what? And she's trying to, like, play dumb. And I'm like, no, like, what is this? Like, what? Who said you could do this? This is absolutely wrong. Like, I should, like, sue you or something. Like, I don't know what I can do legally, but, like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And she was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you would be cool with it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, girl, like, no, this is not cool. And she was like, oh, well, here's what happened. And now I hear the true story. And this is, again, what I said before. I'm not going to call the guy, Paul, a good person, because I'll say he's not a bad person, because you'll hear why in a second. She's like, oh, remember the friend that you saw sitting on the couch? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, it was supposed to be her and I going on this double date, but Paul didn't want her because she was too dark, and he wanted a more lighter skinned girl. So I thought of you. Thanks, I'm so fucking flattered. Like, I'm so flattered. Thanks, Kimberly. I'm flattered. So that's why the girl was mad. Makes sense now, right? Ooh, colorism. I also, can I mention Kimberly's white? Like, is that, like, Kimberly's a white girl. But, like, no, she was, like, really mad. And it makes sense why she was mad. I would have been mad. I'm mad. I'm mad, okay? It's not a compliment when you say, like, oh, you're so pretty because you're lighter skinned. Or, look at this pretty yellow bone. Like, ew, don't fetishize my melanin. She tells me this whole story. I'm like, this is not okay. It's still not okay. That's not an excuse. Like, I went on with my life for, like, I want to say about another week. And I get another phone call from her. And this, when you hear what I'm about to say, like below if you want to hear this story, because this was a whole nother situation with her that was just so crazy. But in a nutshell, the girl that was sitting on her couch beat the bejesus Christ out of her. And she sends me this picture and her whole face was destroyed. And like me being a caring ass person was like, oh my God. So I rushed to her side only to find that she asked for it, kind of, not really. I mean, no one should get ever beat, but like she was racist to this girl and there's police involved and I just left. But that was the last time we spoke ever. So not only was this girl fake as hell, racist, put me on Backpage, stole my pictures, and put me in a really scary situation. Like, this is why I have trust issues, man. This is why I have trust issues. You ask me why I don't like people, you ask me why I stay at my house. What the heck? Oh my God. So yeah, that was like one of the scariest, strangest situations that I've ever been in. And I don't know what to say other than go with your red flags. Like, if you feel uncomfortable about a situation, don't question it and think like, oh, let me stay 5 more minutes and see if it calms down. No, call yourself an Uber and get out of there. Like, seriously, like, don't give in to peer pressure. I don't care how popular, how pretty, how cool you think the girl is. She's not worth it. She's not worth your safety. And it was just a really bad but really good learning experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not happy it happened, but I'm happy it happened because I'm glad I learned from it, and now I know the signs and what to look for, and I feel like I have a better gauge on who to trust. But like, holy moly cannoli, roly poly oly. Alright guys, that was a heavy story. Let's lighten the mood a bit. I promised you I was going to eat something really weird that I found at Walmart, and I'm about to go get that weird thing right now. I'm looking at these right now, like, so many regrets. Okay, so a few of you might already know because I was snapping about it. I talked about it a little bit on Chem and Twitter. I found something really weird in the cereal aisle, and I grabbed it because I was like, what? And it was really funny that people in the store didn't even know it existed because they like saw it getting ringed up and they were like, what is that? And like, oh my God. Alright, you ready to see what I got? Can you see it? Is it in focus? Do you see this? Do you see this? Artificially flavored chicken and waffle cereal. Limited edition. So get it while it's hot, guys. And there's little waffles and little chicken, like honey bunches of oats. What are you thinking? I don't know, man. I'm really scared. I have so many regrets now because I'm like, what makes it taste like chicken? That's really gross. Should I put it in milk? Oh my God. I have no idea how I feel about the smell right now. It smells sweet. I don't smell any of the chicken. Alright, so here's what a a waffle looks like. I don't know if it's focusing. There's a better one. Here. And shut up, computer. I don't care if Fashion Nova's having a Fashion Nova's having a sale. 80% off. What's today? I get paid tomorrow. Ooh, going shopping. Okay, this is the chicken. So let's try it dry. Let's get a piece of waffle and a piece of chicken. All right, put the little chicken on top of the waffle. I don't taste the chicken. I just get like an overwhelming maple taste, which is actually makes me feel a lot better. It literally says, post a photo of your chicken and waffle cereal with honey bunches of oats and show everyone how you enjoy this tasty cereal. Disclaimer, there's absolutely no chickens harmed in the making of this cereal. But that's gross. Why does it taste like chicken? Or it doesn't actually, I guess. Alright, let's taste it in milk. Like, I normally eat my cereal with milk, so, I mean, we might as well try it the way I would normally eat it. That's too much. I don't know. Okay, ready? I don't get it. Like, it's not bad. To be honest, it just tastes like regular Honey Bunches of Oats. I thought this was going to be more fun. I don't know why I'm going back for more. It's really overly sweet. But it's not bad. Doesn't taste like chicken. Well, that was just weird. I don't know. They put black pepper, sage and thyme, garlic, onion, corn, rice, salt,
cinnamon, honey, and then onion, garlic, and a spice blend, and then like the spices are roasted, and black pepper, marjoram, sage and thyme.
And it's a product of Canada. Canada, you're weird! What the fuck is this? Okay. I don't know, man. I'm done. Well, I hope you guys like that story. Like if you want more story times. Please subscribe if you like my face. And I forgot to tell you, you're looking very beautiful today. Like, honestly, I'm enchanted by your beauty. I will see you on the flippity floppity floop. Check out my Patreon if it's I hope it's approved by now. It should be. I don't know. Click the link, see if it is. I put a bunch of fun tiers. I hope you guys will like it. I would love to hear your comments on it. And I will see you in the next video. Cue the outro. Ooh. Hot Cheetos just make everything better, okay? Alright, bye. I'm really leaving now. This goes out to all the men seeking my attention. I love you all, but I got something to say, so listen. Please get your dick out of my DMs. I'm losing all my respect towards men, so put your balls away. Put your balls away. So please stop trolling on my page. Please act your age and put your balls away. Put your balls away. Put them away. Like seriously. Please put them in the bag. Don't take pictures of your balls and send them to strangers. Don't do it. Enough. Someone get me out of this coat.